Hello, and welcome back to Half Cocked. Since our very first hunting video, we've seen your guys' comments. You've been asking what rifles we're running, what projectiles we're using, and even the optics that are on top of our rifles. So whether you are one of our longtime subscribers who's been commenting on our videos, or just somebody interested in coyote rifles, or maybe even looking for your next coyote rifle, you've came to the right spot. Right behind me, I have my array of coyote hunting rifles, so stick around, we're gonna jump right into it. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have a pretty wide array of rifles sitting out here on the table. Starting from gas guns, moving down through 22 250s, and all the way up to my big game rifle. Now, these two rifles here are going to be the main workhorses that you've seen on the channel, but all four of these rifles have been on at some point, meaning they all have some value when it comes to coyote hunting. Alrighty, so starting off the bat here, we're going to go to my gas rifle. So this rifle here was probably the first dedicated coyote rifle that I purchased. Since then, it's been used for a little bit of everything. It was even at one point my 3-gun competition rifle. But let's just break this down from the top to the bottom. So starting off, have a Silencer Co. Omega 300 can. It's what the majority of what I'm running. Moving into the barrel, this has a 1 in 8 twist, 18-inch barrel. It's chambered in 223 Wild. And I really like the 18-inch barrel. It gives me a little bit more velocity. People have complained that 223 causes runners, so getting that just a little bit more velocity helps when it comes to that. Here, all my upper, lower, and fore end, everything there is factory. It is key mod. That can be changed out if you don't want that. I've been able to find things that can hook up to that, no problem. Just like this light, it's a Crimson Trace light. Moving down, this optic here is a Sig Sauer electro optic, so I can enter all my ballistics in here based off of BC, velocity, altitude, and it'll display a mil dot system for different ranges that I can select through an app. And it's a really fast system when you're hunting coyotes, and I've really enjoyed that so far. Down here, this rifle is sporting a Timney trigger, has a bad lever, really doesn't serve much purpose for coyote hunting, but it is there. I can't remember who made this safety, but it is ambidextrous and it's on a 45-degree throw, so it makes for a really nice thumb shelf if you want it there, and it's just really nice for manipulating that. Up here it has a Radian Raptor charging handle, and then this is branded Armalite, but I believe this is Magpul's. I can't remember the exact model, but it has an adjustable cheek piece, adjustable butt pad. This rifle, for the most part, when you've seen it on the channel, has been running a 55 grain Varmint Express VMAX load. I have shot the 53 grain Super Performance load. They also work good. And then the other bullet that shoots really well through this is a 55 grain Blue Thrill bullet. This rifle here is mainly my early season coyote rifle. Where we're located at, the fur gets pretty thick, their hides get pretty tough, so in the early season, when they're a little bit thinner, you're calling in multiples. This rifle offers super fast follow-up shots, and it's also really quiet. I did forget to mention I did have to add an adjustable gas block to this when I did start shooting suppressed. And for early season, this is going to be my go-to every single time. Alrighty, so moving right along here. This rifle here is actually my dad's 22 250, and he's had it for as long as I can remember, but I've been lucky enough to use it on the channel. I believe our quad video was one where it was used, and there was another one where we got to use it as well. But we're just going to do the same thing, move right from the top through the bottom. So once again, Silencer Co. Omega 300 can on top. This rifle has a 1 in 12 twist, 24-inch barrel, just the typical wood stock. Factory action. It has a tang safety instead of the flip out safety. On top, it has a Burris full filled 2 and a 3 to 9 power. For ammo inside this rifle, I'm usually shooting a 55 grain Spire Point bullet. Just your typical soft point bullet. It's cheap, but it shoots really well out of this rifle. The reason this rifle made it is, one, because it's been on the channel, but two, Ruger makes a really great value rifle, and I think they're an option people should really look into. Now they have the Ruger American Predator line, which has a hammer forged barrel, and they seem to be super accurate options. Get you out of here. Hold that thought. Alrighty, well, since our last rifle, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've gained about 20 antelope viewers over here in the background, so that's kind of cool. You don't see that every day.
Alright, real quick, the giveaway is over this Friday, December 13th, and if you didn't already know, if you go over to our website, halfcockproductions.com, it'll be linked down in the description below. If you go over there and make any purchase on the website, then it automatically gets you entered for a chance to win the Everly Stock Backpack, the Custom Field 3.0 Tour Knife with our logo engraved in it, the Tacticon Mini Ouch Pouch Medical Kit, the Custom Rabbit and Distress Call from CK Custom Calls, some East Peak Outfitter hats, and more, just in time for Christmas. If you're outdoorsy or you know someone that is, this is a great package to get entered to win. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Go get entered, and back to the video.
Moving right along here to my next rifle, and I absolutely love this rifle. And it seems like you guys love it too, because we get a ton of questions on this gun. And this rifle here is my full custom 22-250. It's been used on tons of videos on the channel. It's probably my go-to rifle for 75% of the year. Garrett's been able to take a few coyotes with this. Most of my family members actually took their first predators with this. And even a lot of my friends outside the channel have taken a few predators with this rifle. I've had it for probably 8 years now. It's a tack driver through and through. But going from top to bottom as we've been doing. So up here, Silencer Co. Omega 300 can. I have a wrap. Just at the temperatures we're hunting at and the area we're at, I mean, you guys have seen in our videos, it's been negative 35 at times. So when you get that temperature flux after you shoot 2-3 rounds through this, the mirage you can pick up is horrible. So I put that on there just to kick that down a little bit, and it also kind of looks cool, keeps a little bit of protection on the can too. Moving into the barrel, I have a Schillen match grade barrel. It's a 20-inch with a 1 7.5 twist. It's pretty fast twist, but I do shoot heavies through this pretty commonly. Moving down into my stock, I have a Magpul Hunter stock. It's their 700 pattern. Obviously, I'm running the 700 action. And the only downfall of this stock is putting Arca plates on can be a little difficult, but with this big flat bottom, it shouldn't be too hard. So I'll probably be adding that in the future, but for the time being, I just have a pick rail on here, which attaches my Atlas bipod to it. I really enjoy this bipod. I can stick it on my gas gun, I can stick it on my big game rifle, basically anything with a Picatinny mount. Super adjustable. You can take these legs, you can put them at a 45-degree angle out, you can put them straight down, and even if you need to for some reason, you can flip them back. The other thing is I'm not a big fan of bipods that have the spring that bounces them out, and then you gotta fight the spring to get them in. This one, super easy. You just pull the collar, run it down one notch at a time, or all the way. Same thing going this way. You can go out one, you can pull your collar in, go down. Just super fast, super efficient, and I really enjoy it. It also doesn't weigh a ton. There's definitely lighter options out there. This one isn't too bad. It also has, you know, a lot of maneuverability this way. You can cant it side to side, and you can adjust that, tighten it down here if you need to, which I like that part. Moving here into my optic, this is a Viper PST Gen 2. This is a 5 to 25 power. I like being able to crank it up if I need to, and I can also cut it back down if I want as well. My action is a Remington 700 action. As I was saying, is this rifle always runs super reliably. I've had it in snow, I've had it in mud, dry weather, down in New Mexico. It's been in some pretty dusty conditions, and I've never had an issue with it running. On the end of the bolt knob here, I have a KRG extended bolt knob. This is just a simple add-on. You clamp it together, screw it together, and it's on there. For the cold weather we're running in, it always seems I'm running gloves, or there's a little bit of frost on the end of these bolt knobs and they're really slick. So this gives me just a little bit more room that I can grab onto, run this bolt. The other thing that I like about these is most of the time when you add a bolt knob, they seem to get in the way, and I don't know what it is about these, but they have a different sizing on each side, and you can keep it away from the scope so I can really get a good grab onto it. Moving down here into my magazine, this is a AICS magazine. It's made by PMag. It's patterned in a 7.62 by 51, or I believe that's 308, which is the same family as 22-250, and it's always ran really good. People complain that, you know, these, when you get 10 rounds in, they don't run, and I would have to agree. With 10 rounds, it does get a little gunked up, but I usually keep about 6 in here, and if I get through all them, I've had a really good day or a really bad day on that stand. The trigger I'm running is a Timney trigger. I think it's their Hunter model. I don't remember the exact model, but I keep it set about 2 pounds. This rifle is usually being ran on some trigger sticks. And because of that, when I'm throwing it around, I like to have a little bit heavier trigger just to keep that safe, but not so heavy that you're pulling the gun around. This gun was Cerakoted in an FDE tan. As you can see, the stock's that color, barrel action, everything. And out here in this environment, we have a lot of browns, tans, gold. We do have some green happening because it's the end of fall, but once predator season is in full swing, this gun will disappear if you walk away from it. For ammo, my predator load that I'm loading for this is a 55 grain VMAX. I'm using Varget powder, so it's super temp stable. And I believe I'm pushing them about 3450, 3500 foot a second. I'm reloading for so many of these anymore, it's hard to keep my velocities, but the Kestrel always takes care of that for me. My heavy load is a 73 grain ELDM. I have a video shooting that out to 1,000 yards. It's a super accurate gun, even with this short barrel. It tends to be my go-to. Now, this rifle, you can get pretty crazy with these guns. You can go full carbon stocks and Defiance actions and proof research barrels, and these rifles can get up to $5,000–6,000. But if you're looking to up your game and just step over to the next notch into the custom rifle world, but not spend $3,000–4,000, this type of setup might be the perfect budget build for you. And I've had zero complaints about this rifle so far. Okay, so moving into some factory rifles again. So this rifle here is the newest rifle that's made it onto the channel. This is my Christensen Arms FFT, chambered in 22-250. And Christensen Arms has been a pretty well-known name on our channel for a while now. I've been shooting this one. I've also shot a 24-inch barreled one. It's the green one. I still have it. I didn't bring it out here. Garrett also shoots a 6.5 Creedmoor Ridgeline. For anybody who wants to know, he shoots the Varmint Express 95 grain VMAX load out of it, and shoots super flat and super accurate out of his rifle, and that's his go-to coyote hunting load. I've also shot a 6.5 Creedmoor that I have. Garrett and I both have 300 PRCs from them. They're fairly light rifles, super accurate, and we've enjoyed them so far. This rifle here, once again, 20-inch barrel. I like the shorter builds, and I'm running a Silencer Co. Omega 300 can on top. Like I said, 20-inch barrel on it, but this one has a 1 in 14 twist, so pretty much purely shooting lighter stuff. In fact, inside this gun, I'm reloading a 50 grain VMAX, shooting pretty good. Only downfall of it is I need to get probably a little bit heavier magnified scope on this rifle. Right now I'm running a Vortex Venom. I believe this is a, let me take a look real quick. This is a 3 to 15 power. So I'm one of them guys, I like to have a little bit more magnification. This is a 34mm tube, so this optic might be leaving this rifle soon for something a little bit lighter. I've been looking into a Leupold Mark III that I got sitting in the garage for it. The stock is just the factory stock. It's a full carbon fiber stock, so this gun is super light with that. They come with Trigger Tech triggers. I try to keep all my rifles, I think, cut down right around 2 pounds for trigger weights. As I said, 50 grain VMAX on the inside. This rifle, once again, runs super smooth. They have the extended bolt knob on here with the carbon bolt handle. Overall, that'll be the end of the calibers that are kind of more based around varmint hunting. As you can tell, I'm definitely a 22-250 lover. Running that longer barrel, I do avoid keeping runners, and the majority of it is shot placement. You do have to hit coyotes right in their wheelhouse to knock them down. But for me, the 22-250 is my go-to cartridge. It's super fast, shoots flat, and when it hits, the kinetic energy it hits with is just devastating on coyotes. And when you're looking into these rifles, the 22-250 may be a great option. There's also some factory options for these rifles that shoot super well, and just overall, the 22-250 is known as an inherently accurate cartridge. Now that we're done talking about the traditional sized varmint cartridges, I wanted to talk about a whole different genre of varmint rifles. This rifle here is my big game rifle. You guys have seen it quite a few times. I've made some long range shots on predators with it, and also in our last video, which you guys should go check out, Colin joined me on a Colorado black bear hunt, and we were lucky enough to harvest a bear, and I used this rifle for that hunt. The thing with these rifles are there's going to be some fur damage, and they're not the traditional type of predator hunting rifle. But Half-Cocked was never built for us to tell you what the rifle you need to buy or what the cartridge you need to buy. For us, we just wanted to share the experience that we get to enjoy out here every day and hope that we inspire you guys to potentially do the same thing. So if all you have is one big game rifle, or a rifle that you think, man, that's a little big for coyotes, or not exactly a full custom 22-250, take these rifles out and shoot them. The other pro of taking these rifles out and coyote hunting with them is it's a great real life experience. I bought this rifle last year right after big game season, and I was looking for a way to get some more practice with this. Obviously, I'm pounding paper with it and shooting steel all the time, but I wanted to get some live target with it. I took it out predator hunting, and it was honestly a fun option that I got to use for it. This rifle here is about as close as you can get to a custom rifle buying factory. This is Proof Research's factory rifle that they make. On top, I'm not running an Omega 300 on this. Instead, I'm running an Omega 36M, which it's a can that you can split into two different configurations, and I have it split down into its shortest configuration. I have a 24-inch Proof Research barrel. This rifle is chambered in 7mm Remington Magnum, and it's a long chamber cartridge, so I can push my rounds out pretty far and get some good velocity out of it as well. Right here I have a Salmon River Solution pick rail to an Arca Swiss plate. I can hook this onto my tripod, which I hook all my optics to, which is super nice, and then once again my Atlas bipod can stick onto here. When I first purchased this, they didn't make a plate that went full length on here. They recently came out with a plate that does go full length on this that I think I'll be adding. Here, the balance of the rifle, as you can tell, it's trying to tip down pretty hard, but if you get it in the middle with my can, I can find a level spot right about in there. Moving down here, once again, this is just a Magpul long action magazine. I did a little custom spray paint on there just because these are pretty big mag releases here, and I was worried that I might hit that on a twig or something while it's on my backpack, so put that on there just in case that falls out. Maybe I'll get lucky and see it, and once again, kind of looks cool. The action on this rifle is a Zermatt action, or some people know them as bighorns. Super smooth control round feed, which I enjoy. Always going to go in, always going to get pulled out no matter what. The optic I'm running on top is a Sig Sauer Tango 4. During the bear hunt, I was using a Vortex Razor LHT, which that rifle is a 22 power optic. Now that we're moving back into predator season, as I've said before, I'm one of these guys that I like to run pretty high magnification. My optics are pretty much all the time set on 12 power if I'm in a stand calling, and I've been able to take coyotes at 15 yards with that power, no problem. And then beyond that, I grab my lever and I throw it all the way to its max magnification, which this one being a 24 gave me a little bit more, which I enjoy that aspect of it. The stock is just Proof Research's factory stock. It's a full carbon fiber stock. And with my optic, which the other reason I chose this optic is I believe it's about 23 ounces, maybe a little bit more, maybe 24 ounces, but the Razor that I was running before was 22 ounces, so didn't add that much weight. This rifle comes in right at about 10 pounds, so for a backcountry rifle, I like the weight combination. It makes it light enough that I don't feel bad carrying it into the backcountry, but then when I shoot, it's not so violent and barky that I can actually stay on target. Inside this rifle, I about forgot to mention it, inside this rifle I'm shooting a hand-loaded round once again. I load a 168 grain Berger VLD hunting bullet inside of it, and right now I'm pushing them at about 3,050 foot a second, so they're moving pretty fast, but it really does the trick on all the big critters and even the small ones. So there it is. You guys asked and we listened. These are all my coyote hunting setups, why I run them, and what I'm running inside of them. If I miss something or you guys have more questions about one of these rifles or another piece of our setup, leave it in the comments. We love seeing your guys' comments and we try to respond to all of them. And if you've made it this far in the video, maybe like and subscribe on our channel. Check out our apparel page as well. There should be a link up in our description. And the rest, I'm going to leave up to Colin. So thank you for joining us. Closest you could get, in my opinion. Oh, see, why do I got to do this to myself? I was doing so good. Most of the time, I'm running a. Why do you do this to me? You're getting locked in the garage.